Hey, so it's February 9th, and I've been doing more writing and tweeting, and even occasionally from my website. That besides like one internet tag, like the front page is like hidden from search engines. You pretty much have to go to Twitter and click on it. I get a, like a really high traffic, like 10 people will go to my website that is quite valuable for folks that would be in the tradition of maybe like the royal family and their subjects in Thailand who are Buddhist. And this non-reincarnation ultimately, most likely as well, is part of their philosophy on life. Maybe even not so much like a religion, like for me, very viscerally. That's true. Anyways, black Swiss cheese holes in the fabric of space-time, and listen to Wes Penray. I can corroborate what he said, and like there's another woman on the Pleiades connections, and other folks besides the V2K, BCI, R&M criminals, voice-to-skull, remote neural monitoring, brain-computer face interface criminals. They specifically won't tell you that shit about how to get out of here. And I've had training, unfortunately, and fortunately at the same time over the last 15 years, outsmarting these folks that can read my mind at the same time. So, like a bat out of hell who's actually deaf. I tend to, wouldn't that be nice? After my moments of death, I'm just conveniently deaf, so I don't even have to listen to the entities I'm already enduring while I'm still in my meat suit. Anyways, hey, how's it going? So I wanted to do some soundbite fun on the record of stuff. Maybe I'll remember some of my own material. So Bloody Gina, who was summoned after breaking the glass ceiling on being malformed in the CIA. I had a funny way of saying her name in Sweet Tea's Southern accent. So I'll see if I can recall some of this stuff. Bloody J, Bloody J. And then there's like some of the R&M crowd. I'm never going to watch this tape and shit, in the live review. Fuck you, Moon. But they get some of this material. I sort of entertain myself with some of the soundbite language I'm forced to endure on their end. They're just playing dumb and stupid. They have structural advantages like hacking into minds and bodies to know thoughts. So Bloody J, Bloody J. Bloody Gina, the new head of the CIA for these events. Anyways, sucks for women that she's a woman. Anyways, hi, Trump. Hi, I'm a Gemini too. So Bloody J, that's a fun one. And then what are some of the others? Oh, spill the beats. Spill the beats. Somewhat of a comment on the futility of trying to find truth when you've got the devil race, reptilian, international gay frog committee. I may be no Alex Jones, but I did help invent the newspaper comment section, and that's the truth. I'm in a nut house in Intel Town. Nike's coming out with self-lacing shoes, which I think is pretty cool. I'm going to be getting some Nike shoes soon. My first words on the planet were Shunan, mommy, Shunan, in the House of God geography associated with the Middle East, outside of Mecca in Yemen. My first words on the planet. My first best friend on the planet was my grandma. My first hero or inspiration was my grandpa, Leo. He's an MD, lieutenant colonel, owned a hospital, Renaissance man, loved cherry tobacco, golf, Shakespeare, classical music, and medicine. Irishman. Oh, and boxing. Really liked boxing. Bloody J, spill the brakes. And then a comment on the electromagnetic form perpetrator rape of my body being sold off of probably Facebook out of my address in Spruce Street, Metzger, Oregon, 2013 for 5 years. This gang of stalkers that like maybe stole me from some other ones, or they're not really clear on what they say and try to prevent me from being clear in like a Scientology understood way, disrupting my chakras routinely. Satanic science, they tried to dignify it, calling science. Where was I? So bloody J. This gang is Satanism, and I'm a TI. I'm not a perp, but somehow they tried to blame like the perping of estimated 1.5 million by Blackwater estimates out of Seattle. The people doing the perping, 1.5 million Americans that are living in synthetic telepathy torture hells and maybe not even knowing it. Bloody gang, spill the beans. Oh, and then so the rape's going on. They even do like stage design in public around it. And then your communication channels, whatever was hacked from Mockingbird in Oregon for the last 3 years. The rape. This was also a comment on the futility of like satanic misdirection, blaming people that aren't deserving of blame, and like all of the lie and everything CIA. But let's get to the bottom of this. Like trying to blame the Russians like wholeheartedly for all the shenanigans, understatement. I shouldn't even use that word, the Satanism involved in Trump election. They had EMF perps showing up as FBI molar on my block into all of them. So spill the beans. Let's get to the bottom of this. Bloody game. And there's some few other sound bites that I'm communicating with the subhumans, biohackers, human traffickers, Howard Circle crew that is perping me still. There's been like 1,300 perps, separate consciousnesses by appearance over 15 years. Squirrel's been lifting weights. Where's the gym? Where is the gym? Oh. Bloody Jane, bloody Jane. Spill the books. And some other sound bites I may come up with. That's a long 8 minutes to deliver some of the sound bites, but yeah, I'm communicating with the EMF perps and their 8-second consciousness language, however that works out and how they get hooked up here. But they can walk in here and like be translucent or show up as my neighbor or fucking the Queen of England if they want. And then their real bodies are in other locations, like in rich dudes' houses where they're methed out. And their consciousness really is transferred to this thing that'll appear here. And the body that should be, decorated like so many entrails on a Christmas tree for being in my constitutional space, I can't kill. And that's EMF perping, more or less. So that's what I mean by fake people. And I estimate if there's 1.5 million of us TI, there's like 5 million of those just in America. And they're torturing TI at the same time. And at the same time, they'll like trick you and try to say that they're in hell. Howard Circle, relative to what's going on with targeted individual Kevin Christian. I may have some smarts in some different areas than Kevin Christian in Atlanta, but he knew a whole hell of a lot about perping than I ever did. Over 15 years of this shit. That's how deceptive it is. Integrating with your human form. Yeah, I've been misled too. So, black Swiss cheese holes to freedom in the fabric of the outer space. And I was front loaded with that shit in the early 80s. And a place outside of Mecca. And I showed up on the map now. It's officially on the Jugal. I've registered my nonprofit in cyberspace. And this is the physical location in 3D reality. And so there's the preview of the sunflowers I've planted. There's my picture I drew about a poem after I got out of another nut house. There's the symbol of the umbrella movement, which I participated in, and they seem to appreciate me. It was hard to even still feel appreciated through the internets. There's the Drowrens. Hello, my name is Simon. And that's really my drawing. So that, oh, Portland, yes. Okay, and this is the plant you may remember if you are following me and not a satanic perp. It's already had its node and first bloom. There's some new growth down here that I've planted that's already starting up as well. I may have overwatered. I'm not a horticulturalist. I can't be everything to all people. But I am planting in anticipation of the spring and late spring, early summer, the June time. Me being 40 years old, which is a feat in itself, considering I'm like an indigo-ish, built to rebel against Satanism and then introduced to Satanism 15 years ago. And they don't even explain it to people. And they need to explain a fucking satanic top to every person in America in the fucking world. That's a crime against creation and it's... So enforce the law and shit, and everything at Howard Circle relative... National Guard, I'm talking to you. Everything at Howard Circle relative to what's going on with Kevin Christian and me as a TI in scales, those people need to be killed, and you need to do it. Chop, chop! Country's going to fall apart within 75 years. They did it to Germany, and they did it to the USSR. Same tactics. Community policing. Yeah. Welcome to the Year of the Pig.